Hello again, ladies and gentlemen. Can we talk about Gem and the Holograms? Yes, hello, welcome. Here we are again. Doing the thing, in the ring, squaring up with Jim to bring you a fucking 100 megaton punch of spiraling neon madness. We are the Can We Talk About podcast, and we are going to give you a blow so severe that it'll be like that episode of The Angry Beavers where Daggett keeps getting bopped into last week. Do you remember that one, Kristen?
Yes, I do. I think it actually haunts my memories, where I'll never be able to forget it.
Was that one of the ones we had recorded on VHS?
Ooh, you know what? That might be why. Along with the episode of Pokemon with the biker gang.
Oh, shit. James had training wheels.
Yes, he did. And Jessie had a chain that she whipped around her head. There was a cloister in that episode.
Was there?
That's all I remember.
Oh, no, it was a sick shelter. And then did it turn into a cloister?
I think so, yes. I remember there being a cloister.
Pokemon. We are here. It's just gonna be like that episode of The Angry Beavers and Pokemon. We're gonna spiral a chain over our head here to send you back in time to, get you fucking right into that world, that cartoon world, that neon nightmare, pastel phantasm, frighteningly fashionable 80s cartoon, air quotes classic, Gem and the Holograms. I have a mean hook. My name is Joe.
I'm not a bird, which is a bummer, but I'm Kristen, just Kristen.
And we are experiencing Gem and the Holograms via Shout Factory's Gem and the Holograms Truly Outrageous Complete Series box set and the wonderful world of Netflix. Kristen, what do you got about Netflix this week?
I finally finished The Crown last night as I was drinking a lot of water in hopes that I would not be hungover this morning.
And are you hungover this morning?
Nah, I'm really hungry. I told you that before we started recording because I didn't eat anything.
You're hungry over.
I'm hungry over. Oh my god, that's every single day of my life. The Crown was okay. Me not knowing anything about history of Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth, made it like, it was fun because I didn't know any spoilers. So I was like, oh my god, is Princess Margaret gonna get married to the Captain Townsend? Oh, and then I went on the Wikipedia page during last episode and I'm like, oh nope, Elizabeth forbids the marriage. Is Winston Churchill gonna like his 80th birthday portrait? No, he fucking hates it. It gets burned. I learned some things about history.
Wow, England.
Yeah. Ooh.
This week, our foray into Gem takes us into is this one of the more infamous episodes of Gem, Kristen?
At least in my circle of friends. Immediately after I watched this during college, I went down to our living room in our apartment, and I sat all my friends down and I said, we need to watch this immediately.
Let's set the stage a little bit here. The year is 1987. Nancy Reagan fucking hates drugs, and as such, the rest of America does as well. Forces are being readied to, Fantastic Voyage themselves to begin a war on drugs, until someone tells Ronald Reagan that they don't actually need to fight drugs with tiny soldiers. No, they could just do it through telling kids that drugs are bad.
Soon everyone is required to put a very heavy-handed PSA episode into their cartoon series.
This is Alone Again, a very special episode of Blossom episode of Gem.
That's the only place this has ever been appropriate.
Kristen, we have a new Starlight girl that, one, we never see again, and two, she gets addicted to drugs. Spoiler alert.
Yep.
Air quotes drugs.
Drugs. We don't know what kind. They're just drugs.
Caffeine pills.
Yeah, probably.
It is her battle against literal living asshole Bobby Braddock, and it's going to be emotional, and, we're going to learn a thing or two about ourselves, and about each other, and we're going to have a group hug and, powwow at the end, so join us, won't you?
Is it okay for us to use The More You Know music about 5,000 times in this episode?
Fuck, I gotta find that. Alright, cool. More you know. We start off, Kristen, this episode was written by Sandy Fries. He wrote Old Meets New. One thing I noticed, which we'll see at the beginning here, Sandy Fries really likes having somebody who does not like electronic music in his episodes.
Oh yeah, I wonder why they ever let him write for Gem if he is insisted on putting in characters that's like, what is this electric garbage that you were literally shitting onto the floor?
Are you saying fucking Tommy Tornado or whatever the hell his name was?
Bobby Bailey?
Bobby Bailey.
And the Tornadoes? Even I remember that.
Bobby, I was going to say Bobby Braddock, but that's the guy in the... Yo, what if Bobby Braddock's Bobby Bailey's son?
Well, they're both named Bobby, so...
So we start off, Laura is coming to Starlight Mansion here. She's not really too happy about it. Her social worker, the person who hates electronic music, says it's the only option Laura has because, I said it's because she's having some problems, but we find out later the fucking child house in LA is just like, oh, we got too many children, sorry.
We're full. We have all these kids with dead parents and we don't have space for them all. They're literally laying on top of each other.
There were just so many car crashes that killed so many parents. I'm sorry, Laura.
Driving in LA is hell. What can we say?
Jem and company are inside Starlight Mansion here practicing for the big concert, which I wrote in capital letters because we don't get any...
You know, the big concert.
We don't get any further than that.
And instead of them waiting for the social worker that's supposed to show up at some point today, they're practicing.
And as Jem says, let's rock and roll, everybody, the social worker walks in and goes, rock and roll indeed. Do you call that electronic noise music?
And Jem's like, ugh. Hey, you're the social worker, right?
You must be Mrs. Harding. Oh, wow. I wish I knew of your undying hatred for electronica.
Thank God you're not the one who's staying at Starlight House. So yeah, Jem is super smooth and goes, we spoke up. Jerica spoke to you on the phone.
And she said you'd be coming by, and I'm not Jerica, so...
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed by my voice, but I'm not Jerica.
Miss Harding introduces Laura Holloway. Here we said, yes, her parents died last month in a car accident, so she's, Kristen, probably having some trouble. Now,
Yeah, this social worker lays it out there, like, yeah, her parents are dead, and it happened recently.
It's a little on the nose, yes. She says it very frankly.
Laura is standing right there, by the way.
And yes, we learn apparently the city ran out of room at their children's housing facility, so that's why she's here. Too many, again, fucking demolition derby in LA all of the time.
What is, like, the ladder that shows where kids who need placement in some kind of housing, it goes this regular children's facility and then the big mansion with a shitload of room? I don't really understand.
I'm assuming it's because Starlight Mansion is privately owned kind of thing. It's not like the government can just be like, here, take this orphan.
Yeah, but Jem and her buddies also don't go out finding kids who need placement. They just kind of keep the status quo of kids who are already there.
What exactly is the application process for Starlight Mansion? It's not just you have to be an orphan, because otherwise they'd be fucking stupid with orphans. Which they already are, I guess.
But it's still a big mansion.
Was it just that, like, Emmett died, and none of them knew how it worked, so they're just kind of left with the hangers-on from when Did Emmett get all of the Starlight girls? Like, were they why weren't they at Emmett's funeral?
That's a great question. Yeah, how involved was Emmett Benton in the orphan thing? Not a lot, it seems like. He was too busy building a stupid computer.
Jem introduces herself to Laura here, and notices that Laura brought her guitar, and she's like, oh, wow, hey, you want to, come on, we're doing a thing here. You want to jam? You want to jam with Jim and the Jim Grams? Jam? What?
And Laura goes, Excuse me?
Laura says no, showing very little confidence, and Jem quickly moves away from the subject to be like, well, we got other orphans. You want to meet some other people whose parents died or left them here?
Let me tell you, if you want to feel a little bit better about yourself, you need to talk to Bonnie.
We've got our resident blind detective. We've got the cheat. We've got a girl named Blender. I don't even know her name. We just call her Blender.
This is so funny. Laura's like, I do not want to meet someone named Blender. I would like to just go to my room, if that's okay. And Jem's like, all right, but we have a rec room, it turns out, we learn in this episode. So maybe try to come back later.
The only appearance of the rec room, possibly? But yeah, Laura says she's no good at making friends. So again, really kind of not doing too good on the self-esteem track this lady is.
Yeah, so what we were learning already is that people who do drugs have low self-esteem.
Of course, that's the big indicator, which I believe they say in the weird teenage girl AA meeting that she goes to later.
The cyberbully AA meeting.
We fade to Laura walking into the rec room here. Ashley is currently schooling Bonnie at ping pong, which, rude. Bonnie can't see the fucking ball.
Hey, you know what? Bonnie gets her revenge. She can hear it, I guess? She's like Daredevil, but it's just with ping pong. Ashley says she's the world ping pong champion, and Bonnie bops the ping pong into next week and into Ashley's mouth. Which, hey, that sounds like a joke that I would make, but it actually happens.
Thinking of all the times that I've played ping pong, and I've played ping pong terribly, so it hasn't been terribly often, but a ball going into somebody's mouth seems...
It would probably just bounce out off of your lips. How big was Ashley opening her mouth? She was ready to receive it.
Ashley has just been gloating the entire time with her mouth open as much as humanly possible.
So yeah, Bonnie dunks on Ashley, but Ashley rolls with it. She's not a bitch anymore.
Yeah, no, Ashley's she's responsible in this episode, I guess.
Oh yeah. There Ashley is the good kid with high self-esteem who does not do drugs.
Ashley has become Chrissy somehow. Bonnie and Ashley greet Laura, and Ashley's like, hey, you want to get fucking roasted at ping pong, bitch? Let's go. Come on. Boom. And Laura's like...
Do you want me to embarrass you in front of all these people? New kid? Ha-boom.
And Laura's just like, I want to find the linen closet.
So they tried, and Ashley's like, whatever then.
So Mrs. Bailey, or who I can only assume is Mrs. Bailey, calls everybody in from off screen.
The subtitles called her woman.
Informative.
Yeah, thanks.
The girls go out for lunch at this point. Laura walks over to the ping pong table, picks up one of the paddles, and starts crying into it because her parents loved ping pong. Kristen, her dead parents...
She cradles a lot of random objects to her face in this episode.
Her dead parents were playing ping pong when they got in the car crash, Kristen. It's very dangerous.
It's true. See, they were in the back of a flatbed truck playing ping pong and they let Laura drive. Which was their mistake.
Daredevils, those Holloways.
Oh, man.
Jerica walks by, she sees this overwhelming display of emotion into a ping pong paddle, and is just like, hey, I'm Jerica Benton. We spoke earlier. I mean, Jem spoke to you earlier.
So you like ping pong? Oh, are you crying?
Jerica's like, so hey, everybody's going to get lunch. Why don't you go get lunch? And Laura's just like, leave me alone.
And Jerica's like, I realize your parents, like, literally just died. Surprised that she does not pull out the... hey, both of my parents are dead, so I could probably relate to you. That might have helped Laura a little.
I didn't think about that. That would be relatable. So...
Yeah. Maybe Laura would have been a little bit more forthcoming if instead, like, this fairly pushy adult wasn't just like, hey, I know you're going through a hard time right now. Anyway, would you like to tell me all about your bad feelings that you're having? Me, who you just met?
Laura says she doesn't fit in here, and she's been here for 2 hours. Jesus Christ. All the other girls are so pretty and so talented!
You saw one of them suck at ping pong.
But then again, she did see Bonnie really good at ping pong getting the ball into Ashley's mouth.
That's true. She's like, did you see that blind girl? Her aim is so good!
How did her senses get so good if she can't see? Ugh!
Did she have some kind of weird experimental eye surgery that costs a lot of money? I'm never gonna be able to afford something like that! Get used to all of this weird crying, because that's basically the episode.
Laura goes from 0 to 60 really fucking quick, which again happens a lot in this episode, by going, you don't understand. Nobody understands.
And she runs away like the chosen one, going,
don't look at me!
Yeah, that's the joke.
Everybody's got something they're good at.
Not me. Which could be true.
True, yeah, you're right. But we fade here and we find that that's actually not true, because Laura's sitting alone with her guitar. Alone again with her guitar. Nobody understands. It's only her and the music, Kristen. She's free. She's poetry
real fucking
in motion.
good at being maudlin with her guitar, it turns out.
Song number 1 of the evening. Alone Again. Hey, wait a minute.
Do you ever want to hear a 14-year-old with depression sing you a song?
Woo!
Alone again with my guitar, alone again underneath the lonely stars. I see some friendly faces, they smile at me, and then, just like every other time, I'm alone again, all alone again. Looking in the mirror, I don't like what I see. I'm not the person I'd hoped I would be. Always feels like people are laughing at me. Alone again with just my song. Alone again, which is right where I belong. What good is it to fight it? Just accept it and amen. It's like every other time. I'm alone again, all alone again, all alone again. Alone again, all alone again. Alone again.
So that was Alone Again. It begins with Laura throwing her head back, starts playing.
Her hair is way over animated.
Her acoustic guitar playing is, as you heard, pretty good. It sounds like she's gonna break into fucking Crazy on You by heart, which would have been so much better.
Instead, it's her talking about how she's incredibly sad, and she's flying through space.
She astral projects herself somehow. She's got the fucking sheep talisman from Jackie Chan Adventures. That was astral projection, right?
I think so. Man, God, I want to watch Jackie Chan Adventures so bad. When we're done with Jem, let's do Jackie Chan Adventures.
Yeah! She looks out to the stars where Jerica, Ashley, Bonnie, and Kimber are all smiling at her.
I think they might have gotten the events of this episode out of sequence, because the most significant thing Kimber does is after this song.
The most significant thing Kimber does is bully Laura into being part of the concert.
Yeah, she negs her, like Kimber does so well.
Stardust turns into leaves that circle
They turn
Laura.
into stardust that turns into leaves.
Oh, yes, of course.
What did you do, Laura? Put them back! Put them back!
You see this leaf? This is Bonnie. Crush.
No!
She looks in the mirror, not liking what she sees, as the lyrics reflect this, of course. There's something with
She does dress a little frumpy.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I don't know if Laura's designed to... Because she's got, what? She has, like, the fucking long skirt, doesn't she?
I think that's later she wears that. I think she's just wearing, like, fucking khaki pants and an ill-fitting button-up pastel yellow shirt. Like, this cartoon knows how to draw people who are supposed to look fashionable.
Definitely not the most flattering image for Laura.
Now, she even picks up her shirt like, this was my dad's. Why the fuck am I wearing this? It doesn't fit!
There are shadowy figures looking down on Laura, as it, it's lyrics talking about confidence and shit like that, whatever.
Mighty grim specter of Gem picks her up and eats her.
Giantess possessed. No misfits in this episode, by the way.
You know what? I knew there was a reason I felt empty inside.
Now we can't do a dumb Jetta voice, goddammit!
Oh no, I'm gonna try and stop doing a Jetta voice.
The song ends as the holograms come in. Gem is very impressed with her singing and playing, and very flatly, Laura's just like, I'm just mediocre. Fuck off.
She's turning into dance. Oh, did you come in while I was playing my guitar and singing? Ha! Except she's like, I want to die, though. And Gem's like, oh, wow, that was intense.
Gem offers to let Laura play a song at their upcoming concert, which is a really stupid suggestion for someone with confidence issues and probably anxiety problems.
Yeah, she might as well be saying, how about we put you on the phone and you make your first adult phone call? It's like, no, you're gonna ruin that kid's life.
Wow, that's cuts a little deep, huh, Kristen?
I'm better at making phone calls now because I lied at my interview for my full-time job that I have now, and they were like, will you be able to answer the phone and stuff? And I went, abso-fucking-lutely, because I really need this job, so I'm not going to say no to anything you ask me to do. So I talk to people on the phone all the time now. I've gotten so naturally good at it that I scare myself, and I don't like who I'm turning into.
Laura turns down the offer, because of course she does, and Kimber goes, forget it, Gem, she's chicken!
Chicken little kid whose parents just died.
Oh, did somebody's parents die?
Hey, did you have to write a song about them for Father's Day? I don't think so. How about you come back when you get on my level?
Maybe Kimber's angry because she's like, hey, my parents died too. Fuck that lady.
That happened several years ago and I got over it.
I don't give a shit that she's 14. Fuck off.
And then she flips the table.
How old is Kimber? Because we learned Laura's 14.
Yes.
So, is Kimber 18?
We know she is at least college age.
You're right. KGM will attest next week, but anyway.
Yes.
So, Laura turns into fucking Marty McFly and goes, hey, nobody calls me chicken.
And then she shreds on her guitar. Johnny be good.
Kimber basically peer pressures Laura into doing a song for the concert, and my next note after that, what if Kimber asked you to take drugs, Laura?
See, we see here that Laura is easily pressured into things.
Peer pressure. Yes, and
Kimber, you did this.
Laura laments now that she has a chance to mess up in front of the whole world.
Hey, Laura, I feel you.
So we fade to Shul? Skull? What is this place? South HS. What is that? Hot Sword? What is Laura doing at South Hot Sword? Oh, it's high school. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I waited for your joke to reach its conclusion there. Good job.
So this is the first time we've seen school. The only time we see school? Probably?
I don't remember ever seeing it again. It's weird because you see Ashley at a locker later and you're like, she goes to school.
Right. No, that's the thing. And we only see Ashley, too. Like, Bonnie isn't going to school, I guess.
Now, Bonnie is too smart.
Well, you know what? Bonnie's also younger, and I know that... Well, this is a high school, so Ashley's, 13, which is...
8th grade.
8th grade? Yeah, fuck it, whatever. I'm sure that the high school can have 8th to 12th grade. Bonnie would be in middle school, probably.
Yeah.
Anyway. Laura's sitting on a seesaw here, talking to herself, hoping an earthquake or a typhoon cancels the concert so she doesn't have to play.
I hope people die so I don't have to face my fears.
So, some dude just sits on the other end of the seesaw. This is Bobby Braddock.
Or who I call Evil Orange Rio.
It's a wonder Laura didn't fucking fall flat on her ass when all of a sudden somebody sits on the other end of the seesaw.
Apparently he did it so slowly and non-threateningly that she's like, I could buy drugs from this guy.
He comments, his opening line is basically, sometimes I wished for a fucking earthquake, so I didn't have to take my final exams. Drugs?
I'm that kid from that PSA that you see. I'm smooth. My name is Bobby Braddock, and I already know that you're the new girl and is susceptible to peer pressure.
I know you're a mark.
I've been casing you.
Yeah, he introduces himself, and he already knows that Laura's the new girl here. He snuck a peek at a list of new students in the administration office. What? Huh? Why did he... More like new marks, of course.
Of course. He's like, you're 14, and your parents just died, so you live at the place where the orphans are.
You know that girl Ashley? She kind of looks like the cheat, doesn't she?
That's so weird. I don't know why I know about this website that doesn't exist yet, but...
Laura asks why Bobby knows all this, and Bobby's like, I make it a point to know the names of all the new cute suckers at school. I mean, cute girls! No, not cute suckers! I'm sorry, would you like some drugs?
Every single fucking line that Bobby speaks is, like, so perfectly curated that he is infuriating to listen to.
Well, I mean, when he uses it on Ashley later, that's fucking... I mean, that's the big thing where it's just like, oh no, he's got a script, fuck.
They're lines, they're all lines, he doesn't love me.
I wanted to become friends with you because I care about you.
And that's when you get up and you find an adult and you're like, this 40-year-old high schooler is using weird lines on me.
Some guy with the Webster disease is trying to give me drugs, please.
Help, help.
Bobby wants to help Laura so she doesn't have to worry about the concert. And he's got a gift for her, and hey, they'll make her feel great.
And he takes out a little baggie of floating red and blue Dr. Mario pills.
And then Chill starts playing, and she's like, all right.
And then she goes like, no, wait, those are drugs. I don't have viruses that you need to connect them to save me.
Come on, it's free. It's a gift from your new buddy, Bobby Braddock. Your new buddy, Hans Bubby.
Hans Bubby.
Bobby tries to encourage Laura, saying, hey, I'll be at the concert too, and don't you want to play your best for me?
We literally just met. Back the fuck off.
This is enough for Laura to accept. We cut back to Starlight Mansion at this point. She locks the door to her room, which is on, 1, the top floor, and 2, gigantic, which, if I were an orphan, I'd be incredibly fucking jealous, because I'm assuming...
Why did she get the high roller suite?
I'm assuming that some of the orphans have to share a room. Like, fucking, It's Fun to Be Scared Girl and Blender and the one who thinks fucking bears are hilarious or cute or whatever are probably sharing a room together.
They have a triple stack bunk bed.
Blender is 2 inches away from the ceiling.
And she snores like a blender.
So Laura decides that she's going to need all the help that she needs with her music, so she takes out one of the pills and just... So, Kristen, here is where...
Drugs!
Drugs, yes. So, takes one, and 2 seconds later, I don't feel any different, and then just starts walking over to the bed. Just a little lighter, a little faster. She starts strumming her guitar really quick, and she's like, well, I was starting to feel weird. Oh, fuck.
After 2 seconds, she puts down her guitar, and she's like, well, I've never heard that chord before. That's enough practice for today, though. After a very small amount of time, and then the guitar turns into a monster.
And Laura isn't scared by this, by the way. She just goes, whoa, it's a monster! Or something like that.
Bears are silly!
And so she looks over to her lunchbox, and she's like, oh, it's a bird!
And then Laura thinks that she's a bird for the next 3 minutes.
So, yes, it can fly. I want to fly too. Fucking slow down, Laura. Jesus Christ.
These quote-unquote drugs are intense.
She runs straight for the open window, screaming she is going to fly like a bird. She wants to fly away.
Yep, she walks out onto the ledge very quickly and just kind of plants herself there, knocks over some pots that have, like, flowers and shit in them, and then she yells, all my life I've crawled, and now it's time for Laura Holloway to fly!
Kristen, why were there potted plants out on that ledge, so far out on that ledge?
Ms. Bailey has a death wish?
She needs to get her kicks while she's still young.
Yeah, that she's an adrenaline junkie.
So, Jericho runs out and is like, Laura, get the fuck back inside, oh my god!
And Jericho, it turns out, is the worst person that could have possibly called out to Laura, except perhaps Kimber.
Who would have been like, do it! You won't!
And Laura goes, you may be prettier than me and smarter than me. She's also drunk suddenly. But I can fly.
Laura says that Jericho better get up there if she wants to stop her before she decides to blast off.
And she starts counting down from 10, and holy shit, Jericho runs fast.
Jericho gets to the top floor when Laura's at like 6. So, I mean, she's counting down kind of slowly. She's giving it a few Mississippi here. Jerrica runs up to Laura's room, and the door is locked, so Jerrica shoulder checks the door to open it up, which, Kristen, is a really good way to dislocate your shoulder.
She gets it on one try, too. Good for her. It's those shoulder pads that she's definitely not wearing in this scene.
Jerrica gets up on the ledge, and she's like, Laura, I want to talk. Let's talk, come on.
And Laura's like, I'll talk to you, but I'm a bird, so it's gotta be bird talk. Cool, cool, cool.
And then
Jerrica's like, maybe I shouldn't save this.
Kristen, Starlight Mansion needs to keep a good image. She doesn't want to... Oh, yeah, that's the place where the orphan fell to her death, isn't it?
Yeah, in a couple of years it would be a haunted mansion attraction in LA, where it's like, this is where the drugs girl died.
It's fun to be scared. Hey!
Whoever that is in that episode, Trick or Treat Girl, is like, this isn't funny, this actually happened to me.
So, segment 1 ends here with the ledge giving way.
Crumbling infrastructure of Starlight Mansion.
Fucking Howard Sands, pay your goddamn people better to build a better mansion.
Yeah, the concrete crumbles underneath Laura's foot. She doesn't even slip, it breaks. Like it's made of sand. And then she falls, and she's dead.
Segment 2 starts here. Jerrica, showing she has, much like Shayna, a very good center of gravity, grabs on to Laura's arm and deadlifts her back up without any sort of, like, momentum or gravity or anything.
Or holding on to anything.
Pulling her down to fall with Laura.
So she drags her back through the open window, and Laura's like, she's pretty chill with it.
Yeah, it's like, Laura, are you okay? Of course I'm okay. I'm a fucking bird, dude. Come on.
Whatever. And Jerrica does begin to berate Laura for this dumbass behavior.
You're not a bird, you're Laura!
Not a bird? What a bummer. Just Laura Holloway. Double bummer.
Laura's bummed her lunchbox isn't a bird anymore either, and then she just kind of goes, I don't know what's happening to me! And Jerrica tells Laura she was hallucinating, and suddenly...
Define it for the kids.
Suddenly Laura turns into Roxy because she can't fucking speak words, and she's just like, what?
One of the things that I also noticed about Laura in this episode is she cannot seem to start a sentence smoothly. Like, every single time she says anything, she goes, she turns into Kristen Stewart in Twilight. I don't know. Hallucinating?
It's like, no, it's where you were seeing things that weren't there. You could have died. Are you taking something?
Yeah, good detective work, Jerrica.
And Jerrica wants to know where she can score some of it. She's a fucking 80s businesswoman, Kristen. Have you seen Die Hard? She wants those fucking sweet Ellis knuckle bumps.
Man, how different this series would be if Jerrica acted like Ellis.
Eric, booby.
Hey, Shayna, booby.
Laura's also the first person to say drugs here because she's like, who said anything about drugs?
At that point, Jerrica should have gone, okay, you need to go to baby jail.
She's like, boom, played yourself, gotcha.
Woo, gotcha. She turns into a weird cartoon witch for some of her dialogue for the rest of this episode. She goes, maybe I was just pretending.
Laura, where are the drugs, Laura?
There are no drugs. Call the police if you don't believe me.
So we fade to high school. Bobby is pushing Laura on the swing, and she's giggling like a dumbass, going, higher! And don't ever come down, free base! Ba-bam, ba-bam, ba-bam. This isn't White Lines, they're not doing cocaine.
No, they're not. They're doing pills. And then Bobby, smooth-ass Orange Rio, evil Orange Rio, just leans in real close to her and goes, I got something that'll really make you higher. Ha-boom! The exact same thing, so... shady.
Bobby gives Laura the pack of pills at a canted angle, so you know bad things are happening here. And Laura's just like, well, wait a minute, the last stuff made me hallucinate, Bobby, so, what is this? And he's just like, oh, these are different, even though they look exactly the same.
I'm the expert on pills here.
So Laura is just like, so this will help me for the concert, though, right? And Bobby's like, oh, it'll work magic. And then a familiar instrumentation starts. Kristen! It must be a nightmare!
But not yet, just the instrumental.
No, just the instrumentation. Laura is doing dishes here, knocking plates over.
She ages 30 years in the matter of a day.
She's got those, like, really, like, deep cheek lines on her, so she looks, like, malnourished, kind of.
Yeah, she looks gaunt.
She's tossing and turning at 3 a.m. She's looking ragged as hell, as I put it in my notes.
That's me when I can't get the idea that there is possibly anywhere in my apartment at any given time a single cockroach. I start to go, it's gonna be in my mouth when I wake up.
So it hits 4 a.m., and Laura sits up going, if I can't sleep, I may as well play. So she grabs her guitar and starts strumming all off-key and goes, wow, it sounds great!
And we cut to Ashley's room where she sits up and she's like, what the fuck?
How am I gonna plan the fucking jumble caper if I can't sleep?
Man, now I'm thinking about the cow lamp.
Thanks for breaking my cow lamp, guys.
When Homestar Runner wakes up in the middle of the night and he has a 5 o'clock shadow, it's just cinnamon, right?
Yes, exactly.
Welcome to our new podcast, runpodcast.exe.
Remembering Homestar Runner.
Ashley's like, is that guitar or a guitar fire drill? Is Starlight Mansion really that fucked up and musically focused?
Is Starlight Mansion on fire again?
Not again! The entire girl gang rolls up on Laura.
Ashley and Bonnie and Chrissy and the girl who thought bears were silly are all here. I'm pretty sure that's the same one, I think. And Bonnie has her hands on her hips like she ain't having any of this shit, Kristen.
Bonnie drinks so much coffee every single day. When she is asleep, she cannot wake up again.
She needs to fucking, she has her NyQuil or whatever, and she just fucking just like, you know, don't think about the murder that I had to investigate today.
Don't let it get to you, Bonnie.
And Ashley has her hands on her hips as well here, and, you know, chides Laura being like, hey, we're trying to sleep here. And Laura goes, everyone's a critic. I'm simply practicing for my concert.
You can tell she's on drugs because she starts over-enunciating.
Ashley has an important history test she needs to pass, so she has the best threat of the series so far.
Close to, Pizzazz telling class that she'll be looking through her camera.
Either put down that guitar, or you're gonna be wearing it.
And there's a really good animation of Laura passive-aggressively leaning closer toward the group and playing the guitar more.
And then it turns into an orphan fight!
And Bonnie starts screaming and going, holy shit, you're gonna wake Jerica up! Not even stop fighting!
And just like that, Jerica is summoned like they fucking said Beetlejuice in a mirror, and they're both grounded for a week.
Which doesn't seem fair to Ashley, because she's not the one who's doing drugs.
Ashley even mumbles that Laura started it with her crappy music.
That's true.
So we fade the next morning to the table.
Hey, do you want some more examples of how fucked up Laura is?
Orphan breakfast.
Orphan breakfast.
Bonnie is just like, Laura, could you pass the orange juice, please? Which is just barely out of her reach.
She has tiny arms.
And somehow, Laura grabs the pitcher and ends up, like, knocking over Salt and tossing it onto Bonnie's lap. And the instrumentation for Scandal starts playing for some reason.
It is a scandal. Bonnie knows that her name's gonna be all over the papers now that her new dress is ruined.
Why does everybody always blame me for everything? Stop staring at me! Leave me alone!
So, Laura needs to go do some more drugs.
She runs to her room, scrambles for the pills, but she's all tapped out. I gotta find it! I can't play music without it! I can't live without it!
This episode is such a shit show.
Laura is just knocking over shit until she finds a packet, but it is empty. Jerica arrives and is just like, Laura, what the fuck?
And now Jerica is like, okay, I had a hunch before, but now I'm pretty fucking certain that you're on drugs.
Laura, you have a very serious problem.
You're very on drugs.
Laura refuses the idea that she has a problem and refuses Jerica's help too. I don't have to listen to you! And then she runs out.
And Jerica lets her.
She picks up her guitar and she can't play, thinking she needs the drugs to do it right, because she runs into, it's just like the recording area, right, where they were or where she was when she sang Alone Again?
I guess so. She's somewhere else that Jerica doesn't follow her, even though she has a very serious problem.
We cut to school, Laura finds Bobby, and Bobby's just like, oh god, what are you, you're a little emaciated
Holy
right
shit,
now.
You look way older.
Do you have the Webster disease too?
Oh my god, we both do. Laura's like, yo, I need more of this stuff. But it's gonna cost 30 bones.
Yeah, it's all of a sudden, hey, 30 smackaroonies, and Laura's just like, wait a minute, they were free before, and this is where Bobby is, drug dealer, oh no, oh, he's so bad, the first few are free, enough to get you hooked.
See, the only thing worse than this are the people who hold you down and shoot you full of heroin to get you addicted.
Wow.
Weird fucked up things that I'm pretty sure people don't actually do. It's like, if people are giving out drugs as Halloween candy. Like, probably not, though.
People are putting razor blades in apples.
Razor blades in acid in apples.
Laura's animation cell isn't fully colored at the bottom of the frame as she begs for more from Bobby.
It's symbolic.
She's not whole anymore because of the drugs. I need it for the concert. So you'll also have to need to cough up $30 later.
And she's like, oh shit, I am an orphan. I'm a 14-year-old orphan. I don't have any money, and I don't have the misfits.
It must be a nightmare.
Don't have $30, must be a nightmare.
She should ask Ashley, where can I get $30? And Ashley just puts her arm around her shoulder, and it's just like, let me tell you a little something about the honor jar.
You smash it and just take everything in it.
Song number 2 of the evening, Nightmare, which...
Oh, this one!
This song, Kristen, is this song used in a... I think I like it. I mean, it's a better context, I guess, than...
I mean, if you're going to call something a nightmare, you weigh it against people telling you it's your birthday when it's not actually your birthday, and you going on a drug spiral.
It's so much funnier in the former rather than the latter. This is actually... Well, I mean, this is serious.
Yeah, Joe, drugs are serious.
The matter is serious. Won't someone show me the way this must be a nightmare?
Astray.
People are all looking weird at Laura in the crowd. They turn
She
into...
looks like she's on drugs!
They turn into shadowy figures again. There's eyes everywhere. Kristen, we get pills flying towards her.
Catch some in your mouth!
She's trapped in a glass box on a stage. She starts playing guitar and gets jeered and has tomatoes.
She's no good without the drugs!
She sits in a desert as an eye sun stares down at her, and then she looks at a reflection in a puddle, tears, cries, more, whatever. Song ends. That's Nightmare. It's still good song. It's still a good song, so.
Oh, and then Laura goes straight to the PSA regular of stealing money from Jerrica's purse.
Hi, I'm Laura Holloway, and I stole from my mom's purse.
I didn't steal from my mom's purse.
So yeah, Jerrica is just like, Laura, what are you doing? And Laura goes, you don't understand!
I understand I just saw you jacking money from my purse. You are out of here, little kid.
I didn't even need a fucking tape recorder to frame you for it.
I saw you with my eyeballs.
Laura runs away under the bushes to get away from Jerrica, and Jerrica's just like, well, she went under the bushes, can't get to her.
No, she's fine. I'll just let her loose in the city. I guess she does drive to the school because she assumes that's where she's going.
And hey, she's right, because segment 2 ends here with Laura going, I gotta find Bobby. Bobby's the only one who can help me.
Gotta get the stuff.
Segment 3 starts at school. Kristen, is this the same day? Was Laura just not at school for some reason?
Who fucking knows?
Maybe it was before school.
I don't know, maybe she left school to go steal from Jerrica's purse, steal from her mom's purse, and then went back?
Segment 3 starts here. It is at school, yes. Laura's asking people if they've seen Bobby, and
they go, wow, who's this 50-year-old woman?
She runs into Ashley, and she's like, oh, hey, gotta go. And Ashley's just like, wait, no, you've been a major league jerk, Laura, and I don't even want to talk to you anyway.
And Laura's like, nobody understands. People are so mean to me now that I'm on drugs and doing drugs.
We follow Ashley as devious music starts. She drops her books as she's going down the stairs and goes, mega bummer.
I feel that, Ashley. She's also wearing a pretty awesome outfit here.
I don't remember. No, she was wearing the shirt with the number 1 on it when she was sleeping, right?
Yes, those are her jammies. I think she has a similar sort of thing going on, but she's also like layering it with a cool jean jacket.
It is the 80s.
She looks pretty teen 80s stylish.
All of her history notes are out of order now, and she's just like, now I'm never gonna have him back in the right order for the test, and then someone comes to help pick them up. It's Rio! I mean, it's Bobby!
Oh, evil orange Rio. He says, sometimes I just wish that there would be an earthquake so I wouldn't have to take the history test. Ow, I pulled myself with my earbuds.
And then Ash is like, are you on drugs? So yeah, he uses the natural disaster line here again to have an in, and there's a 100% chance that Bonnie labeled Ashley as a mark for Bobby.
Rude.
That's what you get for schooling me at ping pong.
I'm gonna get you addicted to drugs. I'm gonna pay Bobby Braddock to hold you down and put pills in your mouth.
Bobby uses the same cute girls line, too, when he reveals that he knows Ashley's name, and Laura ends up...
I always make it a point to know all the girls that look like the cheat.
I heard you broke that guy's cow lamp.
You screwed up the jumble caper, right?
So Laura ends up in the stairwell here, like near the stairwell, to hear this interaction going on, even though she was running in the opposite direction last time we saw her.
Yeah, whatever. For some reason, the fact that Ashley now knows that Bobby is a liar with a script, that grief overpowers her desire to take a lot of drugs.
Bobby says that he can help with Ashley's history test, and is basically already offering her the pills before she's just like, oh, what are you gonna give me?
And he shakes in front of her face and goes, these, you dummy.
The sooner you pass the test, the sooner I can treat you to a movie. Ashley's reluctant, of course, and Laura is crying hearing all of this, but Ashley takes it anyway, so Ashley's gonna do drugs. Oh,
Ashley's gonna do drugs. Laura leaves, and the Rock and Roadster pulls up in front of the school. You really just taking the Rock and Roadster out for a spin, Jerrica?
I wrote, shouldn't Jerrica have her own car?
Apparently not.
Shouldn't it be weird that it's like, well, Jerrica, you don't own the Rock and Roadster, why are you driving it?
Because whatever Jim owns, I own.
She finds Laura almost instantly, and Laura says she's sorry she stole the money. That was the pits.
She says as she shoves her nose into Jerrica's armpit.
Oh, did we miss the section before where she cradles the fucking plush panda, too?
Oh, we did, yeah. Her just cradling weird shit to her face. Ping pong paddles, plush pandas, armpits.
A lot of things that start with P.
A lot of P's. You know, they're allegories for pills.
Whoa! She hugs pills to her face, too.
She does.
She hugs popping pills to her face.
I'm getting suspicious now. This seems like we might actually be onto something.
Jerica's like, let's go take a drive, Laura. Let's take a drive. You got a serious problem, but I can't change your life for you.
Jerica says, Laura, you should probably go somewhere that will get you help.
Now, I wrote rehab. I know that she refers to it as like a group meeting or something like that. Something stupid like that.
Yeah. Drugs Anonymous.
Laura says that, Jerica, you know, you've been a real friend, unlike that jerk Bobby Braddock.
Who's Bobby Braddock?
Castle just Thunder, Horse Winnie, like fucking, like Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, I had a feeling that's where you were going with that.
Laura comes around and thinks that, you know, maybe I should go to this group thing here, and Jerica's like, well, no, do it for yourself. Don't do it for me. And then we see that Laura immediately... Either Laura's lying to herself or she did it for Jerica in this next scene here.
She changes her mind pretty quickly. Lots of flipping and flopping in Laura's weird moppy head.
We join the group session already in progress. Laura hasn't been saying much because she thinks, you know, it's the person's like, Laura, you know, you really haven't said much at this meeting. We all want to share our feelings with each other. And Laura's like, all right, well, here's my feelings. This is fucking stupid.
There's a drug counselor with a weird nasally voice where she's like, Laura, you've been unusually quiet. How about you share? And no wonder Laura says it's scum, because she's like, I've been hearing a lot of really thoughtful things, but in that voice.
She denies that she has a drug problem. She's just here, you know, it's a promise to a friend.
And there's another girl sitting next to her who says, hey, fuck you, though. Can you go a single day without using dope? I don't think so. Can you not fight with your friends? Did you steal money from your mom's purse? Did you cheat on your math test?
Did they pull out a tape recorder to try to blackmail you? And then Laura's just like, oh, are you a mind reader?
How do you know these things about me?
Do you know Bobby Braddock? Wait a minute, did you read my file? Are you gonna offer me drugs?
Oh no, it's an endless cycle.
And then the girl puts her hand on Laura's shoulder and is like, no, I know, because I've been there too. Face it, Laura, you have a problem.
You're addicted to the drugs.
I made that you're addicted to the drugs in a much bigger font.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it was dramatic as my notes made it. Also, I thought Jericho was the one who said that line.
There is a slow zoom on the weird voiced counselor's face.
She learns that you can't deny that you have a problem. You know, you need to overcome the things that cause this problem in the first place, like low self-esteem.
Pinball Wizard.
We cut to an arcade called Tilt, which I want to go to this arcade.
I can see you being at home there.
Laura and Ashley are playing a game called Alien Terrorist.
What? Okay.
Ashley also says, far out!
Because they do real good and win a free game.
Because it's the 70s and there are 70s cops in this scene.
Yeah. So Bobby kind of waddles over. And he's like, oh, you just got a good score. Anyway, you little space cadets, have you got my money?
And then as Ashley pulls out the money, she's like, yeah, here it is. Here come the cops. Oh no, it's a sting operation. Sting comes down from the rafters and Sting appears and he starts playing every little thing she does is magic and the police are here. Wait a minute, the police are here!
Oh god, Bonnie rappels down from the ceiling and she's like, I called the wrong people.
There are a lot of people called Sting. Did you know that?
Yeah, it's very weird. Anyway, we have two funky disco cops.
The male funky disco cop I'm pretty sure he has bell bottoms on.
And the lady disco cop has a full-on mullet.
And she's got like the fucking like a Texas Rose button-up thing going on there.
So they both look great, and they point real guns at Bobby.
No, Kristen, they took the guns from the Time Crisis machine and were pointing them at him.
He doesn't know the difference. He's an idiot who's on drugs!
They cuff Bobby right there, and the lady cop is like, you know, thanks, Laura and Ashley. Thanks for helping us catch that weasel Bobby Braddock.
And, hey, Laura, thanks for wearing a wire, you fucking snitch.
Ashley also handed the first Ashley is the first snitch, because she was just like, yeah, this guy gave me drugs.
Hey, cops! Anyway, my name is The Cheat. This guy gave me drugs.
Wait a minute, why should I trust you? You're named The Cheat.
I mean Ashley. Larson. We find out this episode.
Oh yeah, her last name is Larson. We do find that out. But yes, Laura actually is wearing a wire, and that's what's going to give them the evidence that, okay, so the way that sting operations work, they're seeing the exchange of money. If Bobby hands them the drugs, that should be enough, I'm pretty sure.
You know what? They want to make it complete. Also, Ashley and Laura are probably going to have to testify against him in court. No wonder we never see Laura again.
Ashley forgives Laura. They're going to help Laura get through all this. She gets witness protection.
Bobby Braddock's big dad, Bobby Bailey, is going to come after her.
Who knew? The tornadoes, it was a mafia front the whole time.
Ah, shit.
That building that they saved in Old Meets New is their headquarters.
Oh, man. Good thing that was on the East Coast.
We fade to Jem's big concert at this point. They all run out on stage, and Laura's here to help out. They're going to play a song that she actually wrote. Now, Laura looks smiley here. She doesn't look emaciated anymore, right?
She's wearing a stupid saran wrap bow on her head.
She does have one of those, yes. And, yeah, she looks like a fucking doll all of a sudden, the way that she's dressed up.
But she's not on drugs anymore, so she's attractive again.
And Jem is dressed like a shitty magician wearing blue dishwashing gloves.
I literally just came back from Starlight Mansion. Ms. Bailey is gone. She's on drugs, so I had to do the dishes.
She was hanging from the fucking edge, trying to get the potted plants up. It was a mess. All right, everybody, 1, 2, 3.
Song number 3, Look Inside Yourself, with little to no rhyming.
There's a thing about, like, the moon in this song, or was that the first song?
No.
There's something about the moon in this song. I don't know. I didn't write many notes for this song. Look Inside Yourself is normal. It's Set Your Sails, kind of. I like Set Your Sails more than Look Inside Yourself, probably.
Is now a bad time to mention that after dunking on it for so long, Set Your Sails has really started to kind of get me.
No, I like Set Your Sails, actually.
Yeah, I like it too. It has some of the better singing out of all the songs, where there's, like, some actual, like, lyrical, pleasant things happening in my head. I mean, they just talk about boats and shit, but it's, it's melodic.
I realized I did that too for Glitter and Gold. What the fuck was I thinking? Glitter and Gold is amazing.
I know! It's so good!
I was listening to the episode and I was just like, yeah, Glitter and Gold's okay. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Do you hear that note she hits at the end? Gold!
So, Look Inside Yourself, right? This shitty song that
Man,
we're not
if
talking
only this
about.
were Glitter and Gold, or Set Your Sails instead.
Man, it's really great to have Set Your Sails be the bar for songs.
I know, right? You know what other song might have worked better here?
What?
I Believe in Happy Endings.
Yeah, that gets used somewhere else though, right? Or was that... No, that was used in... Where else was that used? The Fan?
The Fan.
If they put in I Believe in Happy Endings, they would have had fucking 2 songs from The Fan in this episode.
Whatever.
All they would have needed was Who Is She Anyway, other than Alone Again.
Who is this girl on drugs anyway?
What if Laura just played Who Is She Anyway on her guitar?
And then Jem comes in and goes, what?
I wrote in my notes, oh no, the music was the drugs all along. How else do we explain Princess Jem Lovebird?
Or like Anthony Julian on a Pegasus.
How do we explain any of this? I don't know. But the music was the drugs all along, but it's a safe high, Kristen, of course. But no, the music is fine. The music is, hey, we love the music here. It's not Ellis doing fucking coke bumps off his knuckle. It's fine.
The episode's over.
The episode's over here. Jem looks directly at the screen and says, make the call. Don't use drugs or something. I should have written it down, but I didn't.
Don't be taking those drugs now.
So, in the original airing of this, now I don't know, there was a thing after this where, either after this or at that point where Jem says make the call, where there's like a phone number that comes up of just like, the anti-drug kind of thing. Like, I think they did something like that with the music awards too, with Runaways, right?
I don't know.
I think they did something like that. I don't
Call
know.
now if you're a runaway who's on drugs.
We'll take you to this house where there's a lady with a bunch of colored hair, and she looks really stupid.
And no one called.
So that was Alone Again. I think it really shows you the effects of drugs on the human mind, Kristen. I think it's not over-exaggerated at all.
No. I mean, you take one caffeine pill, and you're so excited, you're so scared.
And you're ready to jump out the goddamn window.
So, our issue, of course, like, how do you represent drugs in a children's cartoon? What's the softest way to do that doesn't go the extra mile of the DARE program and just straight up teaches kids how you take certain drugs? You turn them into generic pills that make you hallucinate. You turn them into literal crazy pills.
That's my thing here. I don't know if it was good that it was nondescript pills, but I mean, it's probably better than, the first, again, maybe they didn't want to show 13-year-old girls doing Ellis Coke bumps.
This is the first of at least 2 times we have someone threatening to jump off of a building, though the second time that person is straight up blatantly suicidal. Do you remember that episode?
Which one was that? Was that Minx?
Yeah, that's the one where Minx falls in love with Rio.
Oh god, was that the one where Minx is gonna change?
Rio won't let Minx give him a present, so she decides she wants to kill herself. So it's Rio's fault.
Don't give me that synthesizer, Minx, come on!
But I'm giving you a present! No, Minx!
Overall, Alone Again earns its infamy, I think. It's hilarious.
Yep, I'm not familiar enough with a lot of older cartoons from this era to know if this is as heavy-handed as it gets, but I would be very surprised to see anything that gets worse.
Now's the point in the evening where I'll list off all of the fun contact things where you can find us. You can follow us on the Twitter machine at CWTAPod. You can follow me at Octopus. That's CWTAPUS. You can follow Kristen at FunnyGirlTM, like trademark, which she usually says herself, but I guess I'm like fucking Ron Burgundy, where if I don't put it in the notes, I'm not going to remember because I forgot to put this in the notes. There we go. You can find us on iTunes, on the SoundCloud, on the Stitcher Radio, now on YouTube. Listen to us on YouTube. It's great. Leave a rating, give a review, do whatever you feel like. You can also reach us, drop us a line, cwtapod@gmail.com, where you can tell us if you're not a bird, and if that's a bummer. But back to the podcast proper. Next week, Kristen, we have a Christy Marks episode that isn't a two-parter, and do you remember how well that last one went?
I don't even remember which one was the last one. Oh, it was
Glitter
Glitter
and Gold. Right, of course.
Yeah, I remember K-Gem being boring as shit.
It is K-Gem, and we're at this point where we're moving into the episodes that are either location-based or like normal cartoon trappings kind of episodes. We don't know what to do with Gem. That's the second half of season 2, in my mind, is a little hit or miss, mostly because the back end of the season is all just like, what are we doing?
Oh god, what cartoon is this? I don't know!
So, thankfully, K-Gem keeps us in LA for now, for pretty much the entire episode, I think.
We don't get too crazy yet.
No, yeah, we're not going to Mardi Gras yet. Not yet.
No Yetis, yet.
No Shangri-La.
No Robin Hood. No presidential assassination attempt.
In any case, join us next week where Gem and Kimber will host a Morning Zoo radio show. I'm pretty sure that's what K-Gem is about, I think.
Oh
anyway.
my god, next episode you should edit in Morning Zoo radio noises. Wow, 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 wow.
But anyway, for the Can We Talk About podcast, make sure to keep the dial tuned to W2005 for Joe and the Sturge.
That's Joe.
And she's the Sturge. I was going to say I'm the Sturge, but I'm not the Sturge.
No, I'm
you
the
are.
Sturge.
And join us next week for some more Gem and the Holograms.
Spring noise. Checks in the mail.